Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Leila Rhodes, and I'll be your moderator today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Netcom Learning, a market leader in promoting lifelong learning, training, and talent development solutions. We are very excited to host today's webinar, Build a Core Network Security Team in 40 Minutes. And presenting today's topic is Sheik Raashid Javid. And Sheik has been working as a cybersecurity trainer for over 12 years, and he is experienced in training and preparing clients for various global certifications related to network, security, and cloud. Sheik is a Microsoft certified trainer, EC Council certified instructor, and certified cybercrime intervention officer. And he holds certifications related to network, security, and cloud, as well as expertise in ethical hacking, penetration testing, incident handling, disaster recovery, network defense, threat analysis, encryption analysis, network, and cloud security. Now, please bear in mind that this is still just an overview of a very robust topic. We do offer a collection of technical and business courses that can be tailored toward your specific requirements. If you're interested in a further discussion about any of those, you can make an appointment with our learning consultants through our website at www.netcomlearning.com. Today's session is also being recorded, so you will get free access to the recording in the next 24 hours via email. Netcom Learning helps customers build innovative learning organizations by achieving a smarter workforce, adopting change, and driving growth. And we do this with a broad catalog of offerings, developing customized learning plans, and our global delivery capabilities. Since 1998, we have been empowering organizations with our managed learning services to help them reach optimal performance results and address challenges. And we have 9 practice areas in which we specialize. They encompass people, process, and technology training. And today's presentation is from the security practice area. Netcom Learning offers a comprehensive training portfolio for security courses, and our upcoming classes include various trainings on CompTIA A+ certification, CompTIA Security Plus certification, CompTIA Pen Test Plus certification, and many more. And private trainings to teams is also available, of which the learning plans can be customized to the specific needs of that audience. You can also access a variety of marketing assets, such as the free 1-hour training, by clicking on the available webinar handout. Also, these offerings can be found with a simple search on our website at www.netcomlearning.com. Through this instructor-led webinar, you will gain a comprehensive understanding of the fundamentals of CompTIA A+, network management, and troubleshooting. They will also get an introduction to security solutions. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and give you a quick overview of the logistics before we get started today. To start with, you have the option to adjust the window size to your liking. Simply hit the escape key and find the Zoom button on the top left corner of your GoToWebinar viewer. Everyone has been muted except for our presenters, but you can feel free to submit any questions you have for the presenters in the questions panel, and we will address them at the end of the session today. Also, to get the best out of today's webinar, we have included the slides, courses we've talked about, and marketing assets in the handout section of your GoToWebinar viewer, and you can refer to those to get a better understanding of the topic. I also want to take a quick moment to request that at the end of the webinar, you will have the option to fill out a quick survey. If we would love to encourage you to do this, it really does help us understand what your learning experience has been and improve our future sessions so that we can always offer you the best experience possible. And the directions for that survey is a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. You will just automatically be presented with that survey as you click out of the webinar. So if you need to duck out a little early today, you will still be presented with that. And now I'm going to go ahead and pass the time over to Sheik to present today's topic. Thank you so much for joining us. I got a little tongue-tied trying to go through all of your awesome qualifications because there were a lot of them. So we're happy to have you with us. You are still on mute, though.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Leila. Thank you very much. Just wanted to see, make it sure if my screen is visible.
It is.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So getting started with building a core network security team in 40 minutes. So it's very important because network is a part of our life. I do remember when I started, working with AT&T troubleshooting networks. So it is, I would say like 15 years back, when I started that journey with AT&T. So it is always very important to secure our network. So till now, we struggle most of the times to secure our network. So designing a network, then troubleshooting a network, securing a network, managing a network. So it's all very important for anyone who is working as a network engineer, network admin, or anyone. If it's my personal network also, I would be very much interested to kind of secure that. But yes, I'm going to share my techniques here, the ways I have been using. So it is going to be helpful for maybe you have your own techniques also, but I'll just share my techniques here to see how we build a core network security team in 40 minutes. So first, why do you think, or why should we have a core network security team? There are a lot of reasons. With the amount of data we hold, the risk of cyber attacks has increased. I work as an ethical hacker. I do forensic investigation. I do incident handling. I do see that data is very important for us. We need to ensure confidentiality, integrity, availability, non-repudiation. But for that, we have a lot of controls. We have a lot of standards here. So there are a lot of cyber attacks. So the amount of data we have earlier, it was not that much. Data is a new oil. You see Hadoop, big data and all that. But with the amount of data we hold, the risk of cyber attacks has increased. Our users are now roaming with their mobile phones, where they have office applications in their mobile phones. Now, earlier it was perimeter. We used to have those perimeter devices. We used to trust those employees who used to work within the organization. Now, we have seen a lot of insider attacks. We have seen a lot of use of, software as a service application, cloud, IoT. So that's where we have a lot of data. So this is why, I guess we need to have a core network security team because of some regulatory requirement. If it is a bank, I need to have PCI DSS. If I'm a hospital, I need to have HIPAA. So depending on, what am I, what kind of, organization am I? If it is my information security management, I need to go for ISO 27000. So based on that, I guess it is highly needed that we need to have a core network security team based on our regulatory requirements. And yes, we need to follow that. If ISO 27000 says that I need to have some standards, some controls, yes, I will have to have them, because if there's auditing, I need to ensure that everything is fine. I need to ensure that I hang that standard. Popularity of bring your own device, choose your own device, pick your own device, that scenario where employees use their own devices. Now, their personal data, the organization data. So there's a popularity because we have seen a lot of advantage of using bring your own device. So that's the reason I guess we need to have a core network security team. Or changing cybersecurity threat landscape. So if you remember, we used to even today we have those signature based systems. A virus comes in, we wait for the virus, it does a lot of damage, and then we get an alert that there's a virus in our network, let's do something. But nowadays it has changed. We are being proactive. We are doing threat hunting. We are searching for those threats. Today, my competitor's network is infected with ransomware. I do not want that to infect my network. So how to protect my network with that particular attack? I am being proactive nowadays. So that's the reason I guess we need to have a core network security. It's important to your board. It's important to your management, board members. They expect, they want it, because we have already seen what's the damage of those attacks. We don't want that to happen. We want to reduce the risk. We want to reduce those threats. We want to reduce the effect of those attacks. So it's very important for our board. Your employees need to be aware. Employee awareness. I have seen a lot of attacks which happened because of lack of awareness. There was a very secure organization which no one was able to attack. But after that, what happened is that simply an attacker just dropped a pen drive. And some employee, they were very happy picking up the pen drive, and they started using that pen drive, which was a media dropping attack of baiting. Or Jew checking attack, which happens at the airport, where you just try to charge your phone thinking that your phone is getting charged, but at the back end it is sucking, it is taking all your data. So those things happen. Jew checking attacks. So that is why I guess it is very important to have a core network security team. There could be a lot of other reasons, but I guess these are the main reasons why we need to have a core network security team. So here I'll mainly talk why we need to go for CompTIA A+, why it is important, introduction to network management and troubleshooting, what are some security solutions, or a little bit on security, risk assessment, and then question answer. Now, if we say A plus, there's a lot of demand. I see a lot of times, people talking, shall we go for A plus? Shall we go for network plus? I would say if you want to become very good in troubleshooting your networks, go for A plus, because A plus, you are going to understand all the hardware, all the operating system. It will also make you do troubleshooting with some logic. I can do troubleshooting. Yes, you can do troubleshooting, but there's something which we call logical troubleshooting. If we follow the logical troubleshooting, I guess A plus is going to learning A plus. The learning path builds a foundation of skills which are required for entry-level information technology careers. You will learn about technical and support issues ranging from network and operating system to mobile device and security. This is highly recommended if you want to spend some time troubleshooting your networks or troubleshooting computers, troubleshooting hardware. Go for A plus, because this is industry standard for establishing a career in IT. So 9 skills that you're going to master with A plus. One is hardware. You'll understand about operating system, software troubleshooting, networking, troubleshooting your security, mobile devices, troubleshooting, and then security. And then this is general troubleshooting, right? And then security, then mobile devices, virtualization, and cloud computing, operational procedures. So these are 9 skills which you can master with A plus. Exam details, you got A plus, core 1 and core 2, 90 minutes per exam, and passing score is going to be 675 here and 7 here. So you would see recent change coming up, or already you might see some change, but the thing is that you got to pass 2 exams, core 1 and core 2. Now, what is network management and troubleshooting? Network management is managing your network. Now, it could be managing those cables which are lying. It could be managing your, it could be related to your network management, where you could be managing anything related to network. And then troubleshooting. So troubleshooting is the process of measuring, identifying, and resolving your network related issues. The first step to diagnose the problem is to collect information. This is very important. We need to collect a lot of information. So if someone says his network is not working properly, he's getting an error, so collect as much information as possible. Through logs, through anywhere, through any system. There are a lot of systems, but the thing is that collect as much information as possible. Troubleshooting is a complex process that is best learned through experience. Yes, exactly. But yes, we need to get started with. And when I started my job as a troubleshooting networks, it was very difficult for me to understand where to approach. But after that, yes, I got a lot of experience. The way if there's a doctor, you visit a doctor, and doctor says that you got this disease because of that symptom. Now, first, it will be very important for the doctor to tell you a lot of questions. And now when he gets a lot of experience, he says, okay, your eyes are red in color, so you might be suffering from this disease. So same goes with the network. Now, with the light, a light on the router, with the light on the hub, I can tell you what the problem is. Or with a beep sound, what kind of beep it is generating, I can tell you. So that all comes with experience. Often the first thing to try is resetting the system or system restart. Reset your browsers, reset your apps, reset your or go for a system restart. This is what we call Microsoft solution, because most of the things we used to fix with restarting a system. Swapping components and reinstalling the software is often the next thing to try. Just go to swap your components. If it doesn't work, swap them or reinstall the software. Maybe it is infected. One standard approach is to ask a question: has anything changed recently? This is very important. Even if someone is coming to you saying that my network is not working, so you got to ask a question: has anything changed recently? If it was working properly yesterday, Why is it not properly working? Why is it not working properly today? Another approach is to change only one thing at a time and then test through after each change. So this is what we call divide and conquer. So try one thing at a time, because there's a big picture, right? A patient goes to a doctor, says that I'm suffering from this, that, and all. So doctor will, go to one problem at a time. So same thing, we are doctors. Those who troubleshoot networks, they are similar to what doctors do. You can usually focus better if you can break the problem into pieces. Very important. And troubleshooting tools. So we got to have a basic understanding of some troubleshooting tools. I've attached a link here, but I'm going to kind of give an idea what kind of tools I need to know. Yes, these are the best diagnostic tools I need to know. One is a Datadog network performance monitoring. This includes auto discovery, topology, mapping, performance alerts, and troubleshooting tools. So if this is new to you, I would say just make a note of these tools, because I have seen them very useful. Or if you guys would not have tested any of those tools, I would say give it a try. These are the best tools I have seen. I have given an overview. I cannot go in detail, but just an overview. SolarWinds Network Configuration Manager. This is an essential system security and admin tool that automatically is going to check on device settings. Enable Insight, a remote monitoring and management tool that enables central IT department to manage network on several remote sites. Manage Engine Op Manager Plus. This bundle of 7 managing tools is going to give you a full network monitoring and analysis capabilities. You can install it on Windows and Linux. Or Fessler, network troubleshooting with PRTG, infrastructure management system that also has port monitoring. Ping, this simple test to check the speed of the connectivity. Now you can do a graphical ping, you can do a path ping. It has a lot of flavors. Traceroute, this is where it's going to give you all the hops between you and the destination. So you can check with the traceroute also to see if there's any problem in between you and the destination. IP config, yes, check your IP address to see if you are getting the proper IP from your DHCP server. So this command line tool provides the IPv4 and IPv6 subnets and default gateway for all network adapters. So if you are using DHCP server, we got to make it sure that we are getting proper settings. Is it APIPA, automatic private IP address? If there's any problem with your DHCP server, maybe 169.254, are we getting 0.0.0? Do we need to release and renew IP config? Do we need to reset our whole settings, TCP IP settings with a NetSH space WinSock space reset? Or NetState. This is going to display active connections on your computer to see what are the other things your computer is connecting to. What are the other IPs? Is there any kind of command and control which is set up by attacker? Or NSLookup. For Windows, Linux, Mac, it gives you the DNS server, DNS diagnostics, NSLookup. You can try to see if you can do a zone transfer to see if there's any loophole in your zone. Is it getting transferred? Or check different DNS records. That's what we call DNS digging. Or you dig and know more about the different records, A record, name server record, mail record, and all that. Uptrends Uptime Monitor, a free online tool that will make repeated checks on the availability of a website. Sysinternals, very nice utilities. If you go to Google search for sysinternals, you'll be seeing Process Explorer or maybe auto runs and all that, which you can use. Those are like advanced task managers. Microsoft tools for Windows that help troubleshoot and configure Active Directory and others also. But this is good, for Windows. Wireshark, this is for sniffing. I know it looks a little bit complicated when you see the Wireshark because of a lot of information, but yes, once you get used to Wireshark, it's a very nice tool. You got TCP dump also, which is a kind of command line version, or T-Shark, or maybe Colasoft packet analyzer. But Wireshark is very nice. We need to know this. Being working in network troubleshooting, it's a free packet sniffer that will help you analyze your traffic. Or Nmap. This is a tool which you can use to see what is there any kind of you can scan those IP addresses. That's what attackers do it for doing information gathering. OSINT, they can use Nmap. If they already got an IP, they need to scan that IP to see what are the ports behind the IP, what's the service running behind the IP, what version of the service is running, and then they can do a metasploit attack using a Metasploit. They can just create an exploit and search for that particular vulnerability. Like, if I find a web server which has a version 8.0, I can find a vulnerability. Or ZenMap, which is a graphical version. So I would say these are the best tools I need to know. Apart from that, I know there are a lot of others, but these are the best tools I need to know for troubleshooting networks. Now, golden rules. So these are very important rules for network administration. If it is not broken, don't mess it with. Okay? If it's not broken, don't mess with it. When in doubt, always reboot your system or anything, whatever is not working, router or any device. Never ever change anything late in the day. It happens, like, if it's something very important and you change something, maybe it's going to affect, and then you don't have any support available in the night. So never ever change anything late in the day. Always be able to undo what you're about to do. So if I am doing anything, can I undo it? Can I restore it? Because if I install a software, it created some problems, so can I restore that? Or if I install something on a system, can I uninstall that? If you don't understand it, don't mess with it on a production system. Use test system for experimenting. True? Dedicate a system disk devoted only to system software. Put application on other drives. That's also very important. A project is not done unless it is tested by you and by the end users. A lot of testing, stress test, that test, dynamic test, static test, and all that. A lot of tests are there. But maybe first test. A project is not done until it's tested by you and by the end user. A project is not done until it is documented. So documentation is very important. We know that, because if I solve some problem, if I document it properly, maybe if someone else comes in, it'll be easy for him to follow what's happening. He doesn't need to ask the question, a lot of questions. All projects take twice as long as you plan. True? Use default settings whenever possible. Do not roll out new software without training end users. Exactly, this happens. Users don't know what's happening, and we roll out the new software. So do not roll out new software without training end users. If you are fighting fire all the time, find the source. Right? Root cause analysis. It goes with forensic investigation also. Disaster recovery. You got to find. You have root cause analysis documents. RCA documents. You need to find the root cause. Why? Because you don't want that problem to happen again. Even if it happens, you have a solution available with you. Now, problem can happen to you, problem can happen to me, but it all depends how you deal with it and how I am dealing with the problem. Avoid poor decision from above. And backup is very important. Whether it's a ransomware attack, if someone says what's the best protection for ransomware attack, it is your backup. Because what happens? Your data is getting encrypted. What can you do? You got to protect it. Now you're not able to protect it. Your port is open, 445 is open, it's getting encrypted. So what do? Maybe you encrypt it. Now it will be difficult for the attackers to encrypt. I'm not saying it is impossible, but it is difficult. So I work in security. I cannot make anything impossible. It is still possible. I know there are a lot of attackers in the market out there. So I cannot say it is impossible to break in my network, but I will say it is very difficult. So all those algorithms which you see nowadays, AES, if you see quantum computing, if it comes in, everything will be broken in seconds. But it is strong as of now, right? So we increase the difficulty level. We never make anything impossible. It is still possible, but we increase the difficulty level. That is what we do in security. Now, what are the security solutions? You might have seen a lot of tools. So network security is an activity designed to protect the usability and integrity of your network and data. Network security combines multiple layers of defense, like, defense in depth, where you have multiple layers. So what are the devices you have? Firewalls, right? You need to understand at least how firewall works. It could be a software firewall, it could be a hardware firewall, but we need to understand, we need to have it as a perimeter device. We need to have something for email security, like, you can have a DLP also. We need to have a proper antivirus or anti-malware. We need to do network segmentation, where we break network into different parts. Is it at a data link layer, like you create VNets, or you create your subnets? Even in the cloud, access control. Who is given access to what resource? Who can do what? Application security, right? So there are a lot of features which we have, a lot of services on the cloud also. We have a lot of application security tools. So we need to kind of have an application security system. or behavioral analytics. Why behavioral? Because we have already seen that nowadays attackers, they change the signature, so we can detect them with the behavior, with the TTPs. When we do threat hunting, we need to have a DLP to prevent data loss. Now, data loss and data leakage. Leakage is when a sensitive data goes out, and data loss is when you lose the original copy. Like someone is taking your hard drive, your data is lost. And DLP is more of a data leakage prevention, because it prevents sensitive data going out. We need to have an intrusion prevention system. We need to have an IDS. We need to have a mobile device security. We need to have a SIEM solution, whether it is IBM Curadar, it's a Splunk, it is Allen Vault, or is it a Logarithm, or is it Sentinel, on Azure Cloud, or VPN. To make it sure that we send data which is encrypted and encapsulated, we need to make use of VPN. Connecting those users through the internet, using a tunnel, or web security, or wireless security, right? So those are very important. Now, what are the top network security tools? I would say, Wireshark, we will already discussed. We need to have a Wireshark. Metasploit, we need to understand Metasploit, because attackers use Metasploit to create those exploits. We need to understand how it works. Nessus, this is for vulnerability management. You might be using other tools like, OpenVAS, GFI LandGuard, Nikto, Nessus, Nexpose, but Nessus is being used everywhere for vulnerability management. You got a free version also, which you can download. AirCrack, this is if you break into wireless networks. AirCrack NG is a suite of tools you got to understand. Or Snort, this is your IDS, right? Which is a free one. But those rules are a little difficult, but this is a free one, which you can use. IDS, IPS. Canada Bill, this is very nice tool. I can do man the middle attack with Canada Bill. I can do password attacks. Or is it dictionary attack? Is it brute force? Is it any attack? Or there's also Argus. So what is Argus? This is audit record generation and utilization system, which does in-depth network data analysis. Nagios, this is open source monitoring system. Or Nagis, however you pronounce it. TCP dump, this is a graphic, this is a command line version of Wireshark. And if you see a cheat sheet online, you can see all the commands, like you do TCP dump, then you do -I, and on particular Ethernet 0, I can just start it. Then I can decide which packets I want to capture, how many packets, like count 10, capture 10 packets. Or Splunk, this is a very nice SIEM solution. We need to have an idea about at least one SIEM solution. This is a free one, right? So you can just go for it and see how it looks like, how it gets those alerts from different devices, how it gives you those graphical, kind of tickets and all that, how it's going to assign those tickets. So if you work as a SOC engineer, you'll be dealing with Splunk and all. So these are very important tools. So risk management. Risk is the chance that outcome differs from what is expected. Usually when we talk about business risk, we are referring to the possible negative impact and the consequence of the event or decision. Management involves identification of the risk, analysis of the risk, evaluation of the risk, prioritization of the risk. Risk assessment is going to help you identify and categorize risk. It also provides an outline for what are the potential consequences, right? So what is the likelihood and what are the consequences? You will have a risk level. Is it high? Is it medium? Is it low? Then you will set up a control based on what kind of risk is there in your environment. You can do a risk assessment, which involves process and technology that help. You are going to identify the risk. You're going to evaluate the risk. You're going to report on any risk-related concern. Risk analysis determines the significance of identity risk factors, plus it qualifies risk, measuring the likelihood of hazards occurring and tolerance. So yes, we need to have an idea what's happening in the environment. We need to download risk register. And there's a template online available. You can just search for risk register and you can see a lot of templates. So you can see, what kind of risk, how we need to deal with that, how what kind of controls we need to set up. So what is the likelihood? What are the chances? So we need to see what's happening in our environment. Is it man-made? Is it natural? Is it human-made? Or what kind of risk is it? But we need to have an idea. Scoring the risk, identify concerns, the likelihood of occurrence, and estimated extent of possible impact. Together, this makes it possible to prioritize risk, right? And set a strategy for mitigating them. So we need to know how to deal with the risk, mitigate to reduce its effect, Can we transfer the risk? Can we accept the risk? Or how to deal with the risk? But for that, we need to have an idea what kind of risk is there. So now let's say there's a COVID virus which is infecting my employees, right? There's a vulnerability. My employees are not using that mask, so that's a vulnerability. Now they get infected, and how I need to deal with that, because if everyone is not feeling well, everyone getting infected. So how to deal with that? What kind of things do I have? Do I have a proper kind of how I need to send them to the hospital, or do I have proper emergency system, and how to deal with that? So what we do in the risk, we identify the hazards. What are the different hazards? Who might be at risk and how? What's the likelihood and what's the severity of the risk? What are the chances? Actions to eliminate or control the risk. How to remove the risk, how to reduce the risk. And we cannot completely remove. We cannot completely remove, but we can reduce that up to the acceptable level. So we can bring it something which is accepted by my organization and conduct the evaluation, right? So we have a risk register. We have the traffic grid protocol. We have various types. We have quantitative risk. We have qualitative risk. Quantitative is where we just check it, based on what is the annual loss expectancy, is single loss expectancy into annual rate of occurrence. How many times it's going to happen. What is the single loss with which we are going to calculate annual loss? This is our quantitative. Qualitative is with, is it medium, is it high, is it low, with the traffic light, or maybe different protocols. So these are skills, we need to have to become a successful risk manager. We need to have some analytical risk to collect data and all that, problem solving skills, people management and leadership skills. We need to have relationship building skills, financial knowledge, regulation knowledge. We need to understand the business. We need to have an ability to quantify risk. We need to have an ability to choose the mitigation strategy, strategic thinking, adaptability, and mathematics. So these are some important skills for us to become a successful risk manager. Right now, these are some links here on my screen, which I'm going to just connect to these links here to see what we have. So it is about A+ certification, which is the one which is recommended for this course. I mean for the webinar. So this is a certification which is recommended. A+, from CompTIA. It has got everything, the skills you are going to master with A+, about exam details and all. So this is the latest information I have. You might see any change here recently. You're going to see some change, but this is the update which we have as of now. The exam details, everything is here. And the other one is from Netcom. What are the benefits you guys will be having once you do this certification? So what are the other benefits? So you can just go to these links. I will not be spending much time here on these links, but yes, you got all these questions here, everything. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Yes, Dila. So yeah, I'm done with this.
Thank you so much. We are going to have a question and answer session in just a moment here. While
Yeah.
you guys are getting your questions into the questions panel, we are going to take a moment and hear from Joby Vargas, our VP for Vendor and Operations. He's going to introduce some promotions and webinar related courses. Joby, I'm making you the presenter right now. You should be able to share your screen. Are you with us?
Yes, I've shared my screen. Please let me know if you can see it.
Yes. Welcome.
Thank you. So thanks, Leila, for adding me here. And like always, Sheik, your sessions are so enlightening to the audience, and especially to people who are part of security. And the way you've explained the need for network security, the tools, and why it is important for an organization to build a good network security team. This was very, very useful for us. Thank you for that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us and listening through this. I'm not going to take too much of your time, but since you're here, we thought we would also try to showcase some of our offerings which might be beneficial to all of you. So the first of the offerings is a product which we call it as Learning Passport. Now, this is a flexible team training package. We have two different types of packages available. One is a value-based purchase, which means you pay a certain value, and we give you a top-up on top of that. So to give you a small example, if you take a Learning Savings Passport, if you make an investment of $25,000 with Netcom, you get an additional 40% purchase value, which you can use to for your teams for any of the trainings which Netcom offers. Now, this is again not limited to the classroom training. It could be a VILT, it could be e-learning. Any of our offerings which you think you and your team would require, you could take it. The second product, which is part of the Learning Passport, we call it as Learning Voucher Passport. This is you make an investment based on a certain value, and you get a number of days training. For example, a certain course, let's say CompTIA A plus, you're interested, and if it is a 5 days course, you or your team can consume these 5 days course from here and so on. So it's number of days as well. So the higher the value, obviously, the higher is the benefit. If you look at our platinum product, you get 100% increase over what you have invested. And similarly, in the Learning Voucher Passport, the number of vouchers keeps increasing as the value goes up. So that's about the Learning Passport. The next product is completely our e-learning platform, so to say. But then here we also give you an opportunity to enroll onto our virtual instructor-led classes as well. And it is basically primarily an unlimited access for as low as $2,999 per learner for a year. So you get access to more than 250 e-learning courses and more than 140 virtual instructor-led courses. Now this again, if you have a higher requirement, let's say 10 of your team members or 20 of your team members require this subscription platform, your cost would be lower than what you see on the screen. To get more information about it, I would request you to visit us at www.netcomlearning.com. Now, security, we've been hearing about security over the last 30 minutes from Sheik, our speaker for today, and we all realize that how cybersecurity is important, and many of you would be leading teams within your organization. Many of you would be taking decisions to make sure that every device user within the organization. I remember Sheik telling us about employees using their mobiles, employees using laptops and computers to deliver their duties towards the organization, which means that there is need for every user, every end user, to be aware of security. So we have a security awareness solution which we are offering to you, and this includes training. Now, this training doesn't necessarily mean a classroom training. We have 100+ courses on end user security awareness. You can choose what you think is relevant to you or important to you, and train your employees on that. And this is self-paced, animated learning, which you can do for your employees. Along with this, there's as part of this product itself, what we offer is a phishing simulation. Now, it's important that you train your employees within the organization, but it's also important for you to test whether are they practicing those secure, safe practices or not. So this is a tool. Now, as an introductory offer, and since you're part of this event, we are offering a free trial of this particular product for a duration of 10 days. Please do visit our website, netcomlearning.com, to get more information about it. No questions asked, no commitments. A 10-day free trial is being offered for this solution, which is cybersecurity awareness and phishing simulation solution. Now, some of you who are part of this meeting, this webinar, you might be part of the government, and you very well know that September, it's the year end is here, and we are about to close the year on 30th of September, which means, if you have some budgets which you need to consume, which have been allocated, we have our exclusive government saving solutions, and reach out to us. We have a learning passport which works, which we have already discussed. We offer special pricing for government, and we also can offer the Netcom Plus subscription, which we saw in the previous slide, 2 slides earlier. Now, we also cover, when we say government solutions, we also cover DoD directive, which is 8140 as well. GSA, that's another important aspect which Netcom Learning offers to our customers. Now, we also have a specific GSA exclusive GSA schedule for more than 800 courses, different courses. We run those classes as well. So if you are wanting to procure your trainings through the GSA, we have this option as well. And we do accept SmartPay and GCPC credit cards, and we do participate in GSA Advantage also. We do, apart from the courses and certifications, this is one of those free virtual events which we run. There are many such events, so please do visit our event section on our website to see what are the other upcoming events. And if you think any of those events are of interest to you, please do feel free to go ahead and register yourself. In terms of knowledge and update and the latest in what's happening in the industry, we do have blogs written by eminent authorities in the specific industries, not only limited to security, but across the information technology domain. Savings programs and promotions, we do have a promotion section on our website. Please do visit. Time to time, we do offer a lot of discounts and promotions from the Netcom Learning side. One takeaway, now that you've come with us and you've stayed with us all through, there's one takeaway which we are as part of as a return to for participating in this event. What we are giving is free Microsoft official courseware, which is called as MOOC, of the course called SC900T00, which is Microsoft Security Compliance and Identity Fundamentals. This courseware, we will be giving it to you for free. The information on how to access it will be available. You could download it from the handout section of this webinar, and get more information about how to access it. But I would say, it was well worth it. You've participated in this event. You've heard us you've heard us during this event, and we want you to take benefit out of it. And we are offering this SC900 courseware free at no cost, no questions asked. The information on how to access is available in the handout section. That's it from my side. Thank you very much. Over to you, Leila.
Thank you so much. We are going to go ahead and jump right into our question and answer session. So if you guys haven't had a chance to get your questions into the questions panel, please go ahead and do that now. And also, while we are doing our question and answer session, we're going to take a moment to launch a quick poll to find out how many people might be interested in taking some additional training. Our question and answer session will proceed as usual, but these polls do help us know what you guys look for in trainings and what you prefer to have offered in the future. So please go ahead and give us feedback on that. We really appreciate it. Okay, so let's jump straight into our questions. Question 1, let's see. How does mathematics play into the security or risk management?
Right, very interesting question. Yes, how does mathematics play a role there? Yes, I discussed that because if we do see, we discussed there are two types of doing the risk analysis. So if I talk about quantitative risk analysis, where I give an example, I would say mathematics would be very important to understand, to kind of do those solve those problems, because if I am able to kind of calculate actually what's the cost which will be involved, instead of saying something medium, low, high, but if I will tell exactly what will be the risk, how much will it exactly, how much risk is going to occur, and this is what management is going interested in, and they will come to know accordingly what kind of control to set up. And that's where I think mathematics is very important.
Thank you. Okay, and our next question, can you please share some network security tools practically used in IT companies?
Network security tools, yes, I did discuss. In fact, in my slide, yep, I was showing all the tools which we have been using. So if I talk about, if you guys talk about practically, then yes, for troubleshooting, because now it depends what you're trying to do. Mostly will be just troubleshooting our networks. Then I have seen, like, ping, IP config, or you just try to check your DHCP server settings and all that. But yes, I have seen IP config or ping. I'm talking about the commands, but of course, you can say that these are the tools also, because if I talk about Wireshark, if I talk about Nmap, so those are the tools which we have been using for kind of troubleshooting and all that. But yeah, IP config, ping, traceroute, the list goes, there's a lot of list.
Thank you. Okay, and then our next question is kind of piggybacking off of that, but from a different person who's attending the webinar. They want to know what tools they should learn first.
So first of all, I would suggest to kind of understand basics of networking. Like if I try to use an IP config, but before that I need to check, I need to learn about what IP addressing is. Now, very important for anyone to start your your journey in networking, I'll say get your fundamentals clear, understand about OSM model, understand about TCP model, understand about IPv networking, how it works, IPv4 address, IPv6 addressing, then understand about basic networking tools, or whether it's a firewall, whether it's IDS. So I would say, if you're getting started, learn about firewalls, IDS, IPS, or SIM solutions, or those are some basic tools which I would say. But yeah, basics, having it clear is very important before we go deep in networking.
Thank you. Let me check our time real quick. Looks like we're doing okay on time. We'll take a few more questions. And thank you guys for such high participation in that poll. We had about 75% of people have already answered that question for us, so we really appreciate that. Our next question is, what are job opportunities that we can expect after completing an A+ certification?
Very good. That is very interesting, because A+ is kind of troubleshooting. So I would say CompTIA recommends that you can work as a help desk technician, you can work as a desk support specialist, or you can work in as a help desk, or you can work as a system admin, network admin, junior system admin, or field service technician. So those are some job roles which use A+.
Awesome. Okay, and our next question, any tools which you can recommend for risk assessment?
Yeah, the risk assessment, I would say, frankly, I have been using Pillar. So Pillar is a very nice tool which I have been using for risk assessment, where you can do both quantitative as well as qualitative risk assessment. Just go search for Pillar, download it. It's a very nice tool for risk assessment.
Okay, and looks like we have about 2 questions left in our queue. Once we do get through our questions, I just want to let you guys know we will wrap up this session. So if you're holding back any questions, feel free to go ahead and get them into the question panel now. Our next question is, what are different techniques of risk assessment?
Yeah, we discussed mainly, there's a qualitative risk assessment as well as quantitative risk assessment. So when we talk about qualitative risk assessment, we just qualify the risk with words like, is it low, is it medium, is it high, is it critical, with a lot of techniques like, we have a risk assessment tool, we have a traffic grid protocol. But when it comes to quantitative, we quantify the risk with kind of, those, we'll calculate the exact value, like, the formula which we discussed in the webinar.
Wonderful. And our next question, I feel like, is one that's going to be on everybody's mind. How difficult is the A+ exam, and how should I prepare for this exam?
Exactly. I do see this, coming, because if you're starting your journey, with A+, I know most of, those who are looking into a certification from CompTIA, so most of those go for A+. So I would say, since these are two exams, one is A+, one is Core 1 and one is Core 2. But if we kind of go through all the content or attend an official training, go through the content, because we need to plan it. So what happens, I've seen most of times, the mistake which I've seen most of us, we make when we go for exam, we do not give enough gap between those two exams. For example, if I'm done with Core 1, which I where I'm going to kind of understand about mobile devices, networking, hardware, virtualization, and cloud computing, maybe I would be good with that, those topics, so I clear that exam. But what happens, I feel very much confident and I go for Core 2 without kind of spending a lot of time, because I thought I am very much confident, and without spending proper time, I go for Core 2, which covers operating system, security, software, operational procedures. Might be I don't understand much about those things. So what I would say is a proper balance. We just need to have a proper gap between those two exams. Write one exam, give a little bit gap, write other exam, and also go through the book, go through your labs, and also go through practice questions. If you go online and search for practice questions, go to the YouTube and see a lot of people who are uploading those questions. If you spend enough, proper time, if you give it a proper time, there'll be no one stopping you to pass this exam.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And with that, we are actually through all of our questions. So before everybody does jump off, I just want to remind you, you are going to be prompted to fill out a survey as you leave. If you can take a moment to fill out that survey before leaving the webinar or as you leave the webinar, it really does help us understand your learning experience and improve our future sessions. The directions for that is a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being outstanding and 1 being poor. And we want to thank you all again for joining us, taking time out of your busy schedule. If you do come up with any additional questions, please feel free to send them to us at webinar@netcomlearning.com at any time. And we hope that you found today's webinar to be informative. We look forward to seeing you back here with us very soon. Also, feel free to tell your friends, colleagues, friends and colleagues about our webinars and other courses. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Sheik. Thank you, Jabi. And have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thanks all.